May profits be upon you. Welcome to another weekly Forex forecast. We have a lot to cover. All right. Last night, U.S. strikes 3 nuclear facilities in Iran. You see the places that they hit. All right. They hit it with the bunker busters, and uh, Iran has promised retaliation. Now, uh, that's going to affect the markets. That's going to have a big impact on the markets. It actually caused me to revise my weekly market forecast, where I go over the equity markets, the stock market indices, gold and oil. I had to revise it. I put one out. I put a video out yesterday, and I had to revise it and put one out today, just a matter of maybe a half an hour ago. So please go check it out. I'll leave a link at the bottom of this video in the description, or I'll leave a link at the end of the video. Okay. Now let's move this out the way. All right. Let's get over here. Now the uh, economic calendar for next week is pretty nice. I say juicy. All right, because it's filled with the good kind of volatility. Right. Uh, uh, Monday, you see red folders, PMI reports. Tuesday, we have the CAD has CPI and Aussie dollar has CPI data coming in. We have uh, chairs speaking for the pound and US dollar, the Fed chair and the Bank of England governor, Bailey. And Wednesday, good stuff. Fed chair again speaks. And then on Friday, we have the core PCE, which is the U.S. Fed's key indicator of inflation, and it helps them to make decisions regarding our interest rate. Okay. Now, what do we got? Last week, I would like to remind you, we're looking at the US dollar index. And in last week's video, I said we're probably going to see a push higher because of tensions rising in the Israel and between them and Iran. And that's exactly what we got. If you can see, let me see if I can do that again. There you go. If you can see, this was Friday's candle, right? And this is Friday's candle, and you can see price pushed higher. So our bias was correct. And if you get the bias correct, that means you have a great place to start when you start to think about entering trades. You're looking for buys, right? And you want to take valid setups. Now, what do we got for next week? Well, I think this is going to continue higher. I want you to look at something. One, we took out, disrespected a bearish fair value gap on the daily time frame, right? So that's gone. All right. And you see price pushed up, and then we have this retracement. What I love to see is when price pushes down and then pushes up higher past the down closed candles. All right. We didn't get past this one yet, but what we have is an impulsive move up, and it looks like a correction. And where we going to correct at? A fair value gap on the daily here, a bullish fair value gap. I'm looking for price to possibly touch here. But in light of things that just took place with missiles flying over the weekend from US to Iran, we may not get that touch. But if we do, this will be a very strong place to take buys from. All right. If we don't, and prices gap up like I think they will, you must realize we already closed a volume imbalance already, right? Here. That happened on Friday, and we kind of chopped about to end the day. But if we take a sweep of these local lows for sell side liquidity, we may touch here and then go on up. We could see that happen from here, though. We could see that happen from here. There's a possibility that we're going to gap open, and I like the close. If there's a gap, say between here and here. If there's a gap, I like to see that gap close before market pushes higher. All right. You see how we had this volume imbalance here, this gap, price gap there. We closed it. You understand? It was a pretty decent close the same day. I'm looking for that gap to happen here. Something similar. You know what I'm saying? Maybe price opens. We see a wick down and then we shoot up. But I definitely buys in the U.S. dollar. It is the safe haven, a global safe haven in times of crisis, all right, in times of tension, all right, geopolitical tensions, all right. If we go to the euro, what did I say last week? I said if the US dollar goes up, euro got to come down, right? I even drew out a candle. I said this is probably be the candle we're looking for. Keep that in mind. This is Friday's candle. This is the candle I was projecting for the next week, for the next, the next week starting Monday. This was a Monday's candle. This was a um, daily time frame that I was looking at, and I was looking at attacking the sell side liquidity at these lows, these ascending lows. Okay, and what did we get? We got we got that candle, right? We got that candle. It didn't go all the way down and take out the buy side, the bullish fair value gap on this daily. Did not close past it as yet, but I think that's going to happen now. I think we're going to see price turn around and take out this uh, fair value gap. All right. And this is happening right at this key level here at 15.7, 1570, 11, sorry, 1.1570. Sorry. Okay. So I think we're heading towards the sell side liquidity at these lows. And this will be the first shot to first target for next week, in my opinion. All right. And as long as those tensions are still ratcheting up, all right, with retaliation from the Iranians, maybe to Israel, maybe to the United States, maybe they involve um, their allies, which would escalate things horribly. This is going to continue to push down as you see inflows of investor money going into the U.S. dollar, strengthening it against the euro and pushing it lower. All right, so it sells. It is sells in the euro USD. All right, this sells, and we see that we have taken buy side liquidity here on the 4 hour. I'm thinking that there's a good chance we'll see prices head down lower from here. I'm looking at a break here, a break of this low as a market structure shift to the downside and a pullback to this area. A pullback to this area would be a great area to take a high probability trade to these lows. All right. I hope we get that. I hope you get it. I hope you get it. Let's see. We got the pound. All right. The pound. What did we say last week? I don't want to spend too much time on what did I say? All right. I just thought that we would be heading bearish. We would be heading bearish, and I told you to look out for this bullish fair value gap that was formed on Friday last week. I said I think it's going to fail. Look for it to fail. I got an eye on it, and that price would continue down low as the U.S. dollar gains some strength with the tensions, right? And what did we get? Meow. All right, and we got some, you know, we got that move that I was looking for. If we go back to, uh, excuse me, if we go back to Friday's candle, that was Friday's candle. Monday came. All right, it was inside bar, and then we dropped hard. Now we have a bearish fair value gap here, and you see the respect given to that bearish fair value gap on Friday. All right, I think we're going to see some continuation for sure, and price will continue down I think we may have uh, designs on coming down to the next low, which is here. And I think that'll be our target next week. All right. As long as tensions are high and things are nasty, uh, we may break the weekly bullish fair value gap right here. I'm looking for this weekly fair value gap to fail. We had our reaction from it. I think we're going to see some bearishness after that. The Aussie dollar. All right. I did tell you, I've been telling you for the last 2 weeks. All right. If you've been watching my videos, that this uh, grind all the way up is leaving nothing but buy side liquidity at these lows, and that at some point, that's why I got this arrow here, if you can see it. All right, that's why I got the arrow there. We're going to come back for the sell side liquidity into this monthly bullish fair value gap. I think that's starting, and with the Aussie dollar, when you trade it on the spot, you're automatically trading against the US dollar. All right, no, that goes for all the futures charts that you see with currencies. We're automatically trading against US dollar. So this is actually Aussie USD, and you can see that we're already started on Friday. I think this is going to continue, and look for a pullback, to a small pullback to the supply zone. I'm sorry, that is already formed here. All right, this is a buy up before the stronger sell off, and I love that it broke down here. Look for a wick up for a chance to catch sells, and I would be looking for nothing but sells at this point. All right, heading towards these lows. Too many of them to right here, but as price heads down, it may pick up steam because there's nothing but sell orders below those lows for people who took longs. You understand? So I'm looking for this to probably look like a hard drop. We don't necessarily have to go to the bullish fair value gap, but I think it's heading that way. Okay. If we go to the New Zealand dollars, very similar kind of grinding up. All right. And you see how things went Friday, a nice impulsive move to the upside, to the downside, heading towards the sell side liquidity as the arrow shows. I think that we may be coming down to these lows. All right. Just like in the Aussie dollar, I'll be looking for a similar pullback, maybe a wick up, and we can catch the move to the downside on a very high probability trade. Okay, if we go down to, I just want to see if I can see. All right, we had a pullback here. All right, we have bearish fair value gaps here on the 4 hour. If I can just do this real quick. All right, I would love to take a trade up into that. It may not even get that high though, because we might see a gap when the open happens. So there is another fair value gap here, a smaller one, right? So we may not get up as high as we would like up here. But even if we get in here and it holds, I'm looking for price to push down. This is an area of supply. If it came up there for a wick and then came down, that would be awesome. But I'm looking at these areas. Those are the areas I'll be checking out for an entry. Okay, if we get down to the CAD is a what do you call it? Commodities based currency, and it's based on oil. And if oil shoots up, which I think it definitely will, because anytime there's crisis in the Middle East, prices go higher because oil may become scarce. All right. So what we had last week was a close here, a bearish engulfer that took the high of this previous weekly candle and the low of the previous weekly candle inside a monthly fair value gap. That's what those dotted lines are showing. I like this. I like this set scenario. The deal is the CAD is going against the US dollar. All right. When we trade the CAD on the CAD futures, were going against the US dollar when you trade it on the spot. US dollar is going to gain strength, bringing the market down. All right. Will it outperform the CAD, which should be rising because oil is going to bring up prices? This isn't the one I'm all that comfortable with, but I like this bearish engulfer. I'm looking for prices to go down, not necessarily looking to jump in for shorts right now, but this is set up structurally just by looking at the candles and everything for a move to the downside with a stronger US dollar as a safe haven. So I would be looking for prices to pull back and then heading towards these lows. All right, like so. It may struggle here because there's a push, a pull up for the CAD with oil and a push down for the US dollar as a safe haven. So it may do a little consolidating, but I like it to the downside. All right. If we go to the Swiss franc, last week I mentioned that there was a bullish fair value gap here on the daily, and I'd like to see if that bullish fair value gap folds. All right. If it folds, I'm thinking that we're going to go down. And I was leaning towards the downside with the Swiss franc as the US dollar gained strength against it. And that's what we got. All right. Here's that bullish fair value gap. And you see we had a bearish week running through it and eliminating it. Right. And do I think that will continue? Yes, I do, because the US dollar is going to gain strength. And once we get past this low, once we see a close past this low, this becomes a natural area of supply. All right, where if price pushes back to it, I can see a high probability trade to the downside. God dog it, man! This I can't seem to get my thing together here. I'm sorry. All right, so that's where I'm at with that. I'm looking for more sells in that area. Now, last one is Japanese yen. I can't, almost got him. Japanese yen. What did I say last week? Come on, man. Taking too long. Let's see. I'm having some technical difficulties over here. I said that we would be heading down low towards these targets. That's all I said last week, and that's exactly what we got. Yeah, I like to get the bias right, because that's half the battle. You get the bias right, we hit both targets. All right. Do I think that's going to continue? Yes. The US dollar is going to outperform the Japanese yen. You can see how it was initially when the tensions were already announced last week between Israel and Iran. With the American involvement, I think this is only going to get worse. And I think we're going to be heading towards these lows here. All right. And that low is at 0.0068245. You can see that. Okay. So I'm looking for more bearishness. I'm looking for a pullback where we can get in for a high probability trade to the downside. I don't think we'll see the gap here, but I think we may get a pullback, a wick down, a wick up, and then we can catch that to take it down. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you check out my revised video for the weekly market forecast. All right. I'll leave a link, and trade safely. And hopefully the tensions will ease this week. Thank you again for watching.